Welcome back, miners. It's Most Wanted here, and I feel like I need to qualify the statement I made when I was talking about Tech 1 variants of the class above, say a mining barge, a coveter being able to mine more than a Mackinac. Some people would say, well, no way, because Mackinac's Tech 2. So I just want to kind of show you and prove to you that it is actually a fact. You can mine more in the Tech 1 variant in the ship above it, the tier above it, than you can on the Tech 2 on the tier below it. So this is my current fit, and I've got both of these configured for kinetic thermal damage. So this is my tanky fit, although it's slightly different than my current tanky fit. It's the tanky fit I would have if you know, I would change this currently, but I'm going to be switching to a cover anyway, so I'm not going to bother changing it. But this is kind of a max tanky fit that I would put on a Mackinac in high security space when you're trying to tank against catalysts. You're going to get 2 strip miners, 2 upgrades, a damage control to increase your structure and shields. You're going to get a pair of domination amplifiers, both kinetic and thermal, and a small shield extender, and then a pair of core defense shield extender rigs. With that, you're going to get 44,000 while you're overheating your adaptive invulnerability field. So believe it or not, it does help to do some fleet skills, especially if you've got some players that you can fleet up with. Everyone can gain a little bit of effective hit points. If I switch this to all 5, yeah, it's the same. So it must be a core fleet skill that I've got at 5 already that helps with the effective, probably leadership 5 or something, that increases your shield effective hit points. So all awesome. It's quite a bit more than the version I have. I have a named amplifier and a named extender, and so my fit's a little bit less effective hit points. But to make this fit, I would need to train mining laser upgrade 5, and then would need to purchase a 1% high wall to reduce the CPU usage of strip miners to make this fit happen, which isn't that bad. But if you look at the yield, 1666 on a tank yield, if you go to a yield fit where yield's over tank and you go with triple laser upgrades, you know, double strip miners with Tech 2 crystals, but you leave the rest more or less the same. You put some, rather than shield rigs, you put in mining yield rigs and then an overclocker to help with the CPU. You have to have now a 3% hardware to get you the CPU you need to make the fit happen. And then your yield goes up from 1663 to 1816. It's not a bad jump, but it's going to put your ship at risk. For every minute you're out there, you're going to have almost 20,000 less effective hit points. That could be a lot. So I don't know if it's necessarily worthwhile, but that is the max yield you're going to get from a Mackinac, regardless how you tank it. Just no other combination I could think of, unless you completely eliminate all your mid slots. That might give you enough CPU to run a second mining augmenter, but you're not going to want to do that in high security space. So that's more or less max yield before you go into an Orca or you get gang boosts, fleet boosts, things like that. I think that includes a hardwire that Jitaki has for yield as well. I forget which one, but it has a hardwire yield. All things being the same, though, I've got Jintaki here as a squad commander here as well, and our yield over here is 1888. So we're going to get more yield, same rigs more or less as the yield fit above. We only have 2 laser upgrades, 3 strip miner 2s with Tech 2 crystals. We've got 5 mining drones just like we have above. And for this fit, we have we keep the 5% hardwire, which makes the potting a bit expensive. But it keeps a pretty decent yield. The key mod, and actually the reason why I would need that 5%, is purely based on this drone navigation computer, which increases the max velocity of the drones by 25%. And it's not a necessity at all, but and it doesn't show, the benefit of that mod doesn't actually show in the ore yield. But it would do is increase the speed of the mining drones from a base of, let's see here. Okay, so the base yield on, or velocity is 500, and then with skills and that mod it jumps to 781. Let me take this mod off and do the same thing. Show. So that's 160 odd meters per second. I guess that's meters per second, I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, meters per second. So there's an increase in speed that's gonna increase the yield over time, because your ship can travel to and from, I mean the drones can travel to and from your ship a bit quicker, spend more time on the asteroids, but I don't know. I don't know if that is as worthwhile as this other fit, which I created. I just knock that mod off. I add another drone mining augmenter, and my yield jumps up to 1917, and I no longer need the hardwire. So then my potential pod loss is worth less. Okay, so so I've done a little bit of research. I've already purchased the ship and the mods, so I have some hard numbers for you. The entire ship cost was 56 mil. The mods were 25 mil of that 56 mil, and then the mining barge was around 31 mil. The cost to insure the ship was about 7 mil and change, and the repayment was about 25, so it leaves 17 mil I will recover after I lose the ship. Well, I received the whole 25, but I have to put 7 in order to insure. So I'm trying to figure out with all these numbers an idea of how much I actually lose, assuming I just go to Jita and or Amar and I just repurchase the ship. So the mods are 25, the hull is 31, it's 56 total, and I get 17 back from the insurance. I'm out 38 mil for losing, plus the cost to upgrade my med clone. So 38 mil, that's not that bad. So I'll definitely look to make use of this. I purchased the fit that you see here with the the dual medium drone mine augmenters, and I was using the mobile tractor unit, and I was mining with the coveter. It went very smooth. It was very easy. I purchased a third unit and I placed all 3 of them down. I mined in the first belt until it was full, moved to the second, mined until that one was full, mined the third until that one was full, docked up, grabbed the hauler, and then unloaded them all. Then I did it another time around. That was more than enough for a session, so it worked out pretty good. So I'll definitely continue to use the coveter from here in.